Hey guys, it's Symphony here, and today I will teach you how to win more games simply by improving your decision making in the finals. I can see that there are many situations where players don't really know what is the best option to choose, so due to pressure of time they usually choose the worst one. As you've probably already noticed, in the finals kills give you almost no gold, so focusing on cashing out is way more consistent method to win games rather than endless aim practice. Okay, so let's start. If you want to be really ahead of every player in the lobby, you need to gain as much information as possible ASAP. That means don't AFK or alt tab before the actual game starts, as when you are choosing your character, you can check your team equipment pressing J. Also check the old team compositions to not get surprised by getting instantly wiped by, for example, 3 Invis light comp. If you are new to the game, I strongly advise you to play every class at least 3 times with different guns and equipment, even when you know that the playstyle does not fit you, because then you can have better understanding of your team decision making throughout the game and all the equipment. In the finals, the most money you gain overall is through cashing out the cash box, but you can gain it also by activating vaults, stealing cash outs, putting cash boxes to cash out station, and by killing enemies. First vault with cash box always contains 10k, and there are 2 of those at the start of the game. It is possible to put both cash boxes to one cash out, but remember that in that case only one team will get all the gold, even if you are putting another cash box to another team cash out station. I've seen a lot of people getting confused by that, thinking they will steal the cash that is already in the station. Opening both following vaults will give you 15k each and next to 22k each. In the final round, all 3 vaults will contain 10k. Activating the vault will always give you the same amount, which is 1000 gold. Putting cash box into cash out station will give you 10k gold. Stealing from cash out station will give you all the amount it currently contains plus 3000. When it comes to kills, killing the enemy give you $200, and it is also possible to gain more in the deathmatch event. At the start of the game, 2 random teams are placed closer to the vault than the other 2 teams. Usually if you are 50 to 100 meters from cash box from the start, that means you are closer. If there is around 150 meters to the closest cash box, there will be team ahead of you. The first fight is not that important and not game changing at all, so I advise you to rush closest vault and skill check the team you will encounter, but there are some things you need to know. If you are in the team that got placed closer to the vault, rush to it and cash it, as this gives you 1000 gold. It does not seem to be much, but you will see that there will be many games that you will win or lose just by the difference of 100 of gold, so it's always better to secure some extra gold. If you don't feel like fighting early, you can also go to the cash out station instead, or at least cut the way from enemies so they can't put cash box in without wiping your team. I usually do the second thing, as if you decide to sneak into the cash out station and set it up, you need to be really quiet so the enemies get trapped and insta-wipe, or instead they can choose another cash out station. This also requires good communication with your team, so if you are playing as premade of 3, I advise you to set up the cash out station. If you're playing solo, just ping for a team to fight them halfway through. In case you want the fight and put the cash box in the cash out station, set up the environment to your advantage. If you want to know how to do it with every class, let me know in the comments, I can create video for this. And then track the enemies. Then think of any possible way for enemies to get near you and think how you can counter that. If you know your medium have scanner, for example, you can listen to his pings, otherwise just try to stay quiet and listen for any signs of enemies. The cash out station itself is very noisy, so try to not camp directly near it. In case you lost the first fight and you need to steal the cash out, don't rush instantly for the closest cash out station, rather look around and think through your best options. Of course, the best time to check game situations is while you are on your dead screen. The next 2 vaults, which will contain 15k each, are now really important to secure it and cash it. There will be games where the fights for the first 2 cash outs will take almost half of the game, so sometimes those are last chances to gain lead. The biggest mistake at this stage of the game you can do is endlessly and mindlessly fight for one cash out station without any knowledge about the current state of the game at all. It is true that the finals is the game with really fast pace and fun gameplay, but there is no way You will win consistently without any strategy behind your plays. That being said, those are the most optimal things you can do in mid-game. After your every respawn, always try to attack the cash out with the longer time remaining, as this gives you more chances to steal it, even when it is farther away. Of course, if both stations are still completed less than 25%, feel free to choose the closer one. If the cash out is completed in around 85% or more and it's not your last chance, it's way better to wait for another vault to appear. If both cash outs are above this value, just prepare for the next vaults going to the middle of the map. Then choose the vault which is farther than the previous cash out, as the closer one will be assuredly attacked by the teams that was just fighting near the last cash out station. When you want to attack the cash out station, first consider the cash out station placement, because some are way harder to attack than the others. Also, some team compositions like more tight spaces, others like wide spaces, so you have to take this into account. Maybe I will make a video about best and worst cash out stations on every map in the future. Remember that 2 teams will qualify to the next round, so if your teammates are quite bad and there is one really good squad in the lobby or even some hackers, just leave your ego and don't contest this team and run to the other cash out station if possible. You can always lose versus them in the final round while gaining a lot of competitive points. In this stage of the game, team wipes are not that important, but that does not mean you can just keep running around with 6 different people hoping you can get insane steal or get your clip. Always make sure you need to use as little aim as possible to cash out. Set your traps, track enemies, play around your teammates. I get that fighting is more fun, but I highly advise you to practice aim on normals or on some aim practice sites, and on ranked make decisions that have more than 80% chance of success. Winning is way more fun. Usually try to attack the cash out with only one team around. Third party attack is usually very messy due to the whole destruction thing, and even when you will kill one whole team while fighting with second one, the first can already respawn and take you from behind. If you are forced to do so, or you have good communication with your team, of course it's worth trying. The key here is to track enemy cooldowns and mines or turret placements. If both team will use most of their lethal cooldowns on you, you can jump in on one team quickly, wiping it. The best way to end this stage of the game is making it out with 2 cash outs and being in the first place. Being the second team at this stage don't mean at all that you have your ticket to the next round in your hand. You'll still need to fight for it. Late game is starting right when the last 2 vaults appear on the map or when 2-minute mark hit the timer. 22k cash boxes are usually big enough to make 4th team become first, so even if you didn't make any cash out till this point, you can still end the game at the first place just making the last cash out. There's chance that there won't be 22k vaults due to extended fights throughout the game, so always track the amount of money players have extracted since the beginning. There is also overtime, which will take place if one of the team will put the cash box in before the last 2 minutes and 10 seconds, as the cash out lasts 130 seconds. Max overtime timer is set to 1 minute, so there is possibility to the cash out to last only 61 seconds if you put the box at the last second of the normal timer. How to play late game? If you are first team in the ladder, you have the least things to do, but still there can be a chance where you can lose the game, so you need to check few things. First, if there's low difference between your team's gold and second team gold, you need to take into consideration the possibility of them raising their gold by getting few kills, stealing cash outs, activating vaults or putting cash outs in cash out station. The safe spot is the difference of 5k gold between you and the second team. The most important thing here is not get wiped at all cost. Remember that if you get wiped, you will lose 30% of your total gold, and in this stage it is game changing, so calculate to know if there is a possibility for you to go down in ladder if you'll get team wiped. If you are really close in terms of gold with next team in ladder, you can do few things. If you are close to one of the vaults, keep it inactive when there is less than 1 minute left including overtime, as vault's opening time is 20 seconds, and then camp near it so you deny a chance for cashing it out for one team. When there is more time on the clock, cash the vault and then take it to the opposite side of the closest cash out station so no team can take it. And again, care about being wiped, so you can for example send there only 2 people and 1 player can try to hide. If the vaults are already being opened, go to the nearest cash out station and make it really hard for any team to start the cash out. But what vault/cash out station should I choose? This really depends on the game. You need to analyze the situation and target teams that can make you lose the game by cashing out. Those last decisions are really important, so always take your time and don't rush it. If you are second team, your main focus is to stay second. The important thing is don't greed for the first place, because this usually ends up really badly. So what you wanna do is similar to the first team situation. Guard the vault or take it away, but also in this case when you see that second vault is activated, instantly throw the first and rush to the second one. Do not let any team put the cash box into the cash out, as this instantly put you at risk of being eliminated. Also, last fight is insanely messy, as all the teams will fight there. You can die randomly in some silly way and get knocked out. Remember that if there will be last cash out and you feel like there is no chance you will be able to steal it, help the first team to steal it instead, as this will make you qualify anyway. As a third or fourth team, your job here is simple. Just go to the vault, cash it and defend it. But if you are playing versus good players, usually there are really low chances you will win from this position, as they can guard the cash out station and vaults, making you really hard to take it. So here, wait for the other team that is at risk of getting knocked out and let them open the vault and put it into the cash out station. Try to not let any other team to them, literally guarding them. If they are getting hard engaged though, just go in as a third party, secure the cash out and run ASAP to the cash out station by yourself. But what to do when even if you are pinging your team to do one of those things and they still are doing their own stuff? Well, it depends, but what's important is don't ever feel forced to do something really stupid just because your team is pinging it and is about to do it. Most of the time, it's just better to secure vaults solo, or at least don't die and wait for your teammates to respawn after their instant death. Those are the main things about the macro in the finals. There is also a big number of smaller things, but I will cover them in the future because the game is constantly changing now. That tips alone should make you hit platinum rank even if you are average at aim. If you have something to add, feel free to leave a comment for me. Anyway, thanks for watching and I will see you in the finals.